You're the creep.
Yeah.
A teacher snatches the bully's ass up.
Yeah.
Come sit with me. That's what I know. Someone's bullying. Oh, you can sit with me for a while. And then I would lean on him. I'd bully him back. He's not a teacher. He's not a politician. He's a creepy guy who can't remember his speeches. I don't know what the hell was in the water in that White House, or was everyone on the same bad cocaine? But Kamala can't speak. He can't speak. Biden was so high he couldn't remember anything. Like, this is literally the dumbest administration of all time. Why is he talking?
It really is the ultimate clown show. And I said this in the 5. He's a clown without a circus.
Have you ever seen a referee stop the fight early because the mismatch was just too painful? That's what it felt like watching Tyrus dismantle Tim Walz. 1 round in, Walz was wobbling. By round 2, he was face first on the canvas, and by round 3, the crowd was begging someone to throw in a towel. It wasn't politics, it was a heavyweight title fight where only one guy even trained.
A wannabe dictator? It's because he is. It's because he is. Maybe it's time for us to be a little more fierce. Because we have to ferociously push back on this. The thing that bothers a teacher more than anything is to watch a bully.
Is there something going on that we're missing?
Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, whose balls is he hiding in his cheeks? That's the first question I want to know. And I don't love the way he says, fierce.
Yeah.
Tim Walz has spent so much time pretending to be in charge that he's practically living in his own political sitcom. You know the type, the governor who struts into the room like he's about to give the speech of his life, only to trip over the microphone cord before he gets a single word out.
He's
Doesn't even need makeup.
He's roaming the terrain. Is there some carnival that I could work for?
Yeah.
I'll watch your windows.
He's a rogue clown.
Yes.
Who is just an inconsequential footnote to vice presidential history.
Yes.
No one will remember his name on trivia night, and that's going to be in 3 months from now.
Yes.
Like, he is such a limp weenus. This is your weenus, by the way. That's your weenus.
Okay, right here on the elbow.
That's it.
On the elbow.
Do you think he's a plant?
The man's entire career is basically a blooper reel. And then along comes Tyrus, the human wrecking ball who doesn't just point out the mistakes, he turns them into a full-on comedy special. Watching Tyrus go after Walz is like watching a heavyweight fight where one guy didn't even realize he was supposed to show up with gloves.
Bad for Elon. I would be furious if I was him. If this is who you sent to troll me?
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing wrong to get the guy from D Team to come out at Family Theater and call me names?
Yeah.
Like, Tim, I would, if they were like, oh, Tyrus, man, tough news cycle. Tim Walz is talking about you. I'd be like, old Timmy, I want to fight him so bad. What?
Walz is standing there in his pressed suit, fumbling through talking points like they're IKEA instructions, while Tyrus delivers slam after slam with the precision of someone who has zero patience for political theater. And the funniest part? Walz seems shocked, like he never thought anyone would actually call him out.
Like Rachel Levine. Look, he has a sports coat and a zip-up sweater underneath. No man wears that.
I may have done that in the past.
Yes.
I won't now, Tyrus.
No, and one day somebody's going to explain what a corporate income tax is to these people. It's not paid by this. It's not paid by the corporation. It's not like a building that goes, I've got to pay taxes. It's the workers.
This is a man so used to being surrounded by nodding heads and polite applause that he freezes the second someone doesn't play along. It's like watching the kid who was always the hall monitor suddenly get called out for skipping class himself. He doesn't know what to do. Smile awkwardly, pretend it didn't happen, or run off stage. Spoiler, he does a little bit of all three. The thing about Walz is that he plays the tough guy politician card as if anyone is buying it. He puffs up his chest, delivers lines like he's auditioning for a movie, and then immediately trips over his own contradictions. He wants to be the dad who lays down the rules, but ends up looking like the substitute teacher who loses the room 5 minutes into class. By the end, the students are drawing cartoons of him on the chalkboard while he tries to remember how to spell the word discipline. Tyrus saw right through that act. He didn't just call out the nonsense, he ripped it apart like wrapping paper on Christmas morning. Walz strutted in thinking he was in control, but within seconds it was clear he'd stepped into the wrong ring. The man was outclassed, outmatched, and out of excuses before he even got started.
Masculinity is deeply part of it. That's one of the, I think it goes, and you can look at the reasons why we've had this sort of dialectic over the Me Too movement.
How do you fight it?
This notion
I think
of
I could kick most of their.
What he's mad about is his own fault. He's mad about the image that was portrayed of him as the hunter. And who did that? You did that. We just laughed about it because the one thing you can't do is you can't front. You can't floss. Those are two key words when it comes to manhood. You can't pretend to be something that you're not.
What makes it so entertaining is how Tyrus doesn't even need to exaggerate. Walz's leadership style is already the joke. Tyrus just provides the punchline. Imagine a guy trying to juggle flaming torches while standing on a unicycle, except he never learned how to juggle and the unicycle is missing a wheel. That's Tim Walz leading Minnesota. And when Tyrus points it out, everyone suddenly sees the flames for what they are. Not a performance, just a disaster. And speaking of disasters, let's not pretend Walz hasn't given the people plenty of material. From messy handling of state crises to policies that look like they were pulled out of a How to Lose Public Trust in 3 Easy Steps manual, his track record isn't just flawed. It's practically a tutorial on failure. He's the kind of leader who tries to fix a leaky pipe by painting over it and then wonders why the basement floods. Take his approach to public safety, for example. Walz has managed to project all the confidence of a man who thinks crime will just politely disappear if he ignores it long enough. He issues statements that sound strong in theory, but collapse the second reality shows up. It's like he's playing SimCity and forgot real people actually live in his state. And the cherry on top? Every time someone points out the obvious, Walz acts surprised, as if no one told him being governor meant actually solving problems.
It is true, though.
That's a big red flag. Whenever you meet someone and they have to give you their resume,
Yeah.
and then as soon as they talk, you're like, that's why you gave me your resume.
Yeah, because it doesn't speak for itself.
You suck.
Yeah. It's like when people have their PhD on their Twitter handle. It's like, this person's completely bonkers.
And their pronouns.
Yes. Are you mad, though, Tyrus, that, beards have been kind of co-opted by beta males like Tyler?
No, because
Watch what you say.
It's like all. Wait, hold on. Watch what I say. I will around, stick my hand up your back, and make you my puppet for the rest of the show.
That's where Tyrus shines. He doesn't let that fake surprise slide. He throws it back at Walz with the force of someone who's had enough of politicians pretending everything's fine while regular people live with the consequences. Tyrus is blunt, unapologetic, and doesn't waste time sugarcoating. Walz tries to wrap bad decisions in nice packaging, but Tyrus rips the bow off and says what everyone's been thinking. The package is empty. What makes this takedown legendary is how lopsided it feels. Tyrus is delivering heavyweight blows while Walz is flailing around like someone trying to swat a fly with a pool noodle. Walz thinks he's handling the situation, but the more he talks, the deeper the hole gets. He's the politician equivalent of a guy trying to argue with customer service, only to realize he's the one who forgot to pay the bill, and it gets worse the longer it goes on. At first, Walz tries to stand tall, but once Tyrus gets rolling, you can practically see him shrink. It's like watching air escape from a balloon. Slow at first, then all at once, until what's left is just a sad rubber mess on the floor. By the time Tyrus is done, Walz looks like he just survived a tornado made entirely of punchlines.
Been there, and there was Oliver Wendell Holmes, and actually you can. I don't believe you're a lawyer, Governor Walz. You can yell fire in a crowded theater, and you can say hateful things because this is the United States of America, and it's right there in Amendment number 1. It's one of a guy from the heartland goes to Yale. That's so dishonest. If you read his memoir or know anything about the guy, it's a miracle he wound up at Yale. He was a child of abuse. No dad, drug-addled mom, man after man in the house, including very abusive domestic violence things he witnessed.
But here's the real kicker. This isn't just about personal humiliation. This is bigger. What Tyrus did was peel back the curtain and show what happens when political spin meets actual accountability. Politicians like Walz thrive on long speeches, complicated explanations, and endless excuses. They drown you in jargon and hope you don't notice nothing actually got solved. Tyrus doesn't play that game. He strips it down to the basics, makes it plain, and suddenly Walz looks like the emperor with no clothes. That's why people love it, because for once, someone is cutting through the nonsense. Walz spent years building a persona of authority, but it collapses the second someone refuses to play along. Watching Tyrus expose that is like watching a magician get caught pulling rabbits out of a hat he bought at Party City. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And the humiliation? it sticks. Walz can't shake it off, no matter how hard he tries. Every attempt to recover just makes things worse, because now people are watching closely. Before, maybe they ignored the stumbles. But after Tyrus's takedown, every misstep looks bigger, every mistake looks funnier, and every excuse sounds weaker. Walz isn't just embarrassed, he's branded. He's the guy who got verbally body slammed and couldn't fight back.
And I gotta tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy. That is, if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So, you see what I did there? I got to tell you, pointing out just an observation of mine that I made. I just have to say it. You know it, you feel it. These guys are creepy and yes, just weird as hell.
It's like high school all over again. Once you're the kid who slipped in the cafeteria and dropped your lunch tray, you're never just Tim again. You're the guy who fell. And Walz just fell hard, except this time it wasn't in the cafeteria. It was in front of the entire country. Of course, Walz tried to carry on like nothing happened, which only made it worse. The man walks around with the forced confidence of someone who lost a bet but refuses to admit it. He smiles, he nods, he acts like he's still in control, but everyone else remembers the moment Tyrus turned him into political confetti. It's the kind of humiliation that lingers, the kind you can't spin away with a press release. The beauty of it all is how natural it looked. Tyrus wasn't even trying to be flashy. He just spoke plainly, cut through the nonsense, and let Walz implode on his own. It's like setting up a domino and watching the whole line fall. Walz provided the dominoes, Tyrus just gave the flick. And the bigger picture? It's proof that politicians like Walz are built on shaky ground. The second someone refuses to play along, the whole performance collapses. Tyrus showed that leadership isn't about speeches or staged confidence, it's about substance. And Walz, he's got none. He's like a cereal box that looks colorful and exciting on the outside, only for you to open it and find 3 sad flakes rattling around inside.
I speak like they do. People are coming to get to know me. I speak like they do. I speak candidly. I wear my emotions on my sleeves, and I speak especially passionately about, and then he goes on to blame it on the school shootings. I guess he was upset about school shootings, so he lied. But stop saying you speak like we do. I speak like regular people. What kind of bullshit is that? No, you don't, sir. We don't lie about military service we didn't actually perform, like going to war. We don't steal valor by saying that we had a higher rank.
Tyrus didn't just destroy Walz in the moment. He exposed him for what he really is, a politician who talks big but delivers little. And once people see that, they don't forget. They remember the body slam. They remember the humiliation, and they remember who had the courage to call it out. So now, every time Walz tries to puff himself up, people will hear echoes of Tyrus's takedown in the background. Every attempt at authority will remind them of how quickly it all unraveled. Walz may still hold the title of governor, but Tyrus holds the belt for credibility. And in this match, that's the only title that really matters. Walz might have hoped people would just move on, but humiliation has a way of sticking like glue. The takedown didn't fade into the background. It burned itself into people's memory. It's like watching someone slip on ice in slow motion. No matter how many times you replay it, the fall is always hilarious, and the aftermath never looks graceful. Walz keeps trying to walk like nothing happened, but everyone can still see the skid marks trailing behind him. The funniest part is that Walz seems to think a few polished speeches will erase it all. He puffs himself up, smiles wide, and tries to reset the narrative. But here's the thing. Once Tyrus ripped open the curtain, people stopped buying the act. They can see the strings, the stage props, the weak script.
My DMs, like just one arm, and I just want to slap the. He's so weak. He brings nothing. If you were gonna go after someone, man to man, hit him with a fact. Hit him with something real.
Yes.
You don't have anything. And here's the cold part. If Elon called him up and said, "Hey Tim, you want a job?" he would take it. Because that's what spineless, he would, and when he was questioned, he was like, "I was just holding him in account. You know, I respect him, and I'm so happy to be working for X." He is the worst player on their team, and they don't mind sending him out because
They're trying to get him off the table.
Yeah.
They're putting him out early so he can't be a factor later.
It's like watching a magician explain his trick and then still try to perform it as if no one noticed. The illusion's gone, but Walz insists on waving his wand anyway. Meanwhile, Tyrus doesn't even have to keep swinging. The damage is already done. Every word Walz utters now feels hollow because people remember how easily his whole routine collapsed. Tyrus landed the kind of hit that echoes like a bell ringing long after the hammer's gone. Walz talks, but people hear the silence of his credibility being vacuumed up off the floor. And the irony is delicious. Walz built his image on being in control, a steady hand, someone who had it all figured out. But one verbal body slam from Tyrus, and suddenly that steady hand looks like it's holding a wet paper bag. The harder Walz squeezes to look strong, the faster it rips open. By the end, he's left clutching nothing but excuses while everyone else laughs. The humiliation isn't just about a single moment, it's about the way it rewires perception. Before, maybe people gave Walz the benefit of the doubt. Now, every time he opens his mouth, they're on the lookout for the next collapse. It's like watching a clumsy waiter carry a tray. You don't see skill, you see disaster waiting to happen. And once that's the impression people have, it's nearly impossible to shake. That's why Tyrus's destruction lands so hard. It's not just comedy, it's clarity. He said what a lot of people were already thinking, but hadn't put into words. He turned vague frustration into sharp punchlines, and once it was laid out, Walz had nowhere to hide.
Speak of former VP nominee Tim Walz, he joined Beto O'Rourke at a Texas town hall last night, and the estrogen levels were enough to give Chuck Norris menstrual cramps. I wonder, is our strength our diversity?
Our strength is our diversity. We've been talking about this for years as a country of immigrants, and we let them define the issue on immigration. We let them define the issue on DEI, and we let them define what woke is. We got ourselves in this mess because we weren't bold enough to stand up and say, you damn right we're proud of these policies. We're going to put them in, and we're going to execute them.
So, wait, you lost because you weren't woke enough?
The emperor wasn't just exposed, he was roasted in front of a live audience, and everyone left talking about the fire. What really seals the deal is how effortlessly Tyrus pulled it off. He didn't look rehearsed, he didn't sound scripted. He was just real. Authentic in a way politicians like Walz can't fake. That authenticity cuts deeper than any carefully crafted talking point because it's not trying to impress anyone. It's just telling the truth. Walz, on the other hand, is forever stuck trying to polish failure into something marketable, and the contrast couldn't be sharper. So here we are with Walz trying to salvage his reputation while Tyrus casually walks away, undefeated, unbothered, and probably already onto his next target. Walz can keep pretending the body slam never happened, but the audience knows better. They saw it, they laughed at it, and they'll never let him forget it. And the moral of the story? Don't step into the ring with someone like Tyrus unless you're ready to get flattened. Because Walz thought he was the main character, but by the end of the night, he was just the punchline.